West Point Casino just there, and that's where I'm heading, over that way today. So I'm on this coastal walk now. It's taking me up this path here to the city, but the views along the way, damn, how good are those? Well, it looks like they caught up with me. This is the Salamanca Wharf, and around here is the Salamanca Markets, which I'll show you shortly. In the background is the city of Hobart. As you can see, it's quite mountainous. Well, this street that I'm on right now is the Salamander Market Street, and on a Saturday this street transforms into probably one of the best markets in all of Australia. A lot of the buildings you'll see on the left here, they are dating back to the early settlement of the area. But if you're ever in Hobart, this street is the one you want to come to on a Saturday. Salamanca Markets. Right, I'm in the Brook Street Pier, and the Sydney to Hobart yacht race, one of the most famous races in Australia, starts today, finishes, well, the best time's 24 hours, but usually 3, 4, 5 days even after the race starts, and that's the race village just over there. Today is Boxing Day. So here's the bike I'm taking, a V-Strom 650. It's got panniers on it, and that's from Moto Adventure. This is my Tasmanian tour today. I've hired a beautiful Suzuki V-Strom 650, and I'm heading around Tasmania for the week. Put that down so you can hear me. I've got 6 days to get around Tasmania, just over almost 1,500 kilometres. And just going over the Tasman Bridge at the moment. Probably one of the most iconic bridges. This is on the Derwent River. So today I'm heading up to Bassano Bay. So it's through Fresnay, or Fresnay. Beautiful view of the Tasman Bridge. Through Richmond, that's 25 kilometres away, and just taking my time. So my first time I've ever ridden one of these bikes, Suzuki's. This is a big bike for me. I'm normally on the MT-07, and this is certainly a lot bigger. And I'm also not used to the fairings as well. Mine's a naked bike. But here we are. This is the Tasman Bridge. And just going to follow the instructions here of the GPS. He's given me a Zumo Garmin GPS to get around as well. Absolutely beautiful. Right, I'm now on my way to Richmond, which has quite a history, which I can tell you more about later. But regardless of that, Richmond's on the way, and I want to stop off for some provisions, because there's not going to be a huge amount of food and other options along the way. But as you can see from the countryside, apart from the wind, I'm finding it a lot more windier than I thought it would be. But the actual Views, very mountainous and just typical of Tasmania. It's probably one of the most underrated states in the whole of the country. Absolutely beautiful. Roads here, believe it or not, are 100 kilometres an hour. I say believe it or not because I'm only doing about 70. I just guess I'm not rushing that much. But quite forested, quite hilly. Of course, Tasmania is fantastic for its windy roads and mountainous regions, and this is just a start of it. I know, having done Tasmania before by car, the roads are very, very windy, and this is probably a motorcyclist heaven. Absolutely beautiful. Just initial, I mean, you're not even 30 minutes out of the city of Hobart, and you have these incredible windy roads and beautiful pastured land and mountainous regions. It's the main reason I came here, really. Just heading into Richmond, 1824. I remember the last time I came here, it was one of those places where you have Devonshire tea, you know what I mean? It's lots of tourists here and wildlife parks, visitor information, but it's well worth coming just because of the history of the joint. Just keep going up here. Richmond's 1 kilometre away, Sorell is 15 kilometres. I remember as a 14-year-old coming to Sorell for a camp. Here we are, almost in Richmond now. One of the things I notice about this particular tour, it's a lot windier. Now, and the roads are very, very different from European roads when you're even Australian roads for that matter. When I say Australian, I mean mainland Australia. And I'm going to park here for a bit and have a look around Richmond. This is Richmond Jail, dating back to 1825, Australia's oldest jail, because of course this area was where the colonies first started. I'll show you the river in a minute. This is the Tasman Bridge from 1823. I'm still about 120 kilometres away, but I have hit the coastal region on the east coast of Tasmania, and my God, it's beautiful. I'm about 50 kilometres away now. I'm just coming into Fresnet. I'm on Coles Bay Road, so this heads right into Fresnet, or what was formerly Coles Bay. And the national park is straight ahead. I'm going to be heading to the right, heading for the coast. So one of the main reasons I came to Tasmania was actually to come here to Coles Bay, or Fresnet. And this beautiful bay. So this is my digs for the night. It's beachfront Bisharow. It is right on the beachfront, but I'm down the back. Here's your standard room, queen size bed, single, and the beach just on the other side there. So this is Bassano Beach. Probably the nicest thing I've seen today. Going up to the scenic reserve. Well, good morning everyone. Today I am leaving Bassano, which has been an absolute joy, and I'm heading to firstly St Helens, which is on the north east coast of Tasmania, and then I'll be heading to Launceston where I'll stay overnight. So today we're doing 282 kilometres. I've just filled the fuel tank. From Hobart to Bassano was $17 or 12 litres. So again, it's very windy and narrow roads, not too much traffic. It's only very early, about 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's have a look. Yep, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I figured I'd get an early start. I filled the fuel tank in Bassano, and figured that would be the best place to do it now before we go any further. Just taking it pretty easy today, but as you can see, we are heading along the coastline. Right ahead of us is the coast, and sorry about the wind, but you get the idea. Just beautiful. I wish I was awake at sunset. Actually, I was awake on sunset, I just didn't see it. Alright, check back to you shortly. Just come across some roadworks. The opportunity to show you some of the countryside. As you can see, it's heavily bush, cleared land. It's very typical Australian. Pretty much hugging the coastline today on the east coast until we hit St Helens. Just coming along the coastline now. I'm heading to the Bay of Fire just before St Helens, where I'll turn off to Launceston. How beautiful this coastline is. Just coming through, it's called Scamander. Just coming into St Helens now. Another 2.5 kilometres to go. So this is St Helens, and just over that ridge is the Bay of Fire, which is where I'm going to go next. I'm about 1.6 kilometres from the bay, just on the high end. This is it's pretty close to the top. That's the northeast coast of Tasmania. So this is the Bay of Fire. Beautiful beaches, long stretch of beach. And the colour of the water. Not too many people. So I just did a detour to Billabong Bay, which is just here. Looks like a major tourist place. Again, beautiful beaches. Wow, what a beautiful coast. Very windy, I know. So I've got 108 kilometres to go, until I get to Launceston, and just leaving the seaside town around the Bay of Fires now. Just coming into Perth now, which is about 18 kilometres outside of Launceston. Have you ever ridden a bike and it's like been so windy that it's like pushing the bike, like you're constantly on an angle on the right, like forcing it on the right to try and stay stable? Because that was what it was like, that trip. That was picturesque as hell, but boy oh boy, was that pushing me over. So a bit more traffic now, we're heading into Perth. And gotta be a little bit careful. Launceston Airport is just up there, 7 kilometres. Now you're going to have to Google this one. There is a Perth in West Australia. This is not that one, this is Perth, Tasmania. It's a little town. Can't tell you an awful lot about it, but it's quaint. It's got a bakehouse. And I will be in Launceston in another 17 kilometres. I will chat to you then. So this is Launceston City Park. It's a bit like Botanical Gardens really. And I'm just going to head up towards the Esplanade now. We've got this beautiful gorge here that takes you on a hike along this pathway, and that should take us to the chairlift area. And just to my left here is all the rapids. So this is inside of the Cataract Gorge, and there's a pathway that just leads up through here. Quite an easy walk. And what a view. Okay, that'll do for today. It's been a big day with motorbike riding, and we're just finishing up here at the gorge in Launceston. And also a bit of hiking as well through the trails. Beautiful day. You'll be able to see the chairlifts. But anyway, that'll do for me for one day today. It's been a big day, and tomorrow heading off very early in the morning, going out to Devonport. That's the first port we're going to go to, and then I'm going to head over to Stanley for the afternoon. Alright, see you later guys.